Hello and welcome to Fiber and Floral, a mostly knitting podcast. I'm Becca, and today we are going to be talking all about Christmas colorwork socks. I said I wasn't going to do it. We all knew I was going to. Join me as I do a deep dive into colorwork Christmas socks and Ravelry and show you which one I So, as I'm recording this, it is actually December 7th, so it's Saturday, and I'll be releasing this tomorrow. But we have had something Christmassy or festive to do basically for the last 10 days in a row. So we are very tired but very Christmased out, and it has been lovely. We've gotten to see so many good friends. We started off having like a Thanksgiving meal with a family that we have come to think of as our own family. Last Sunday, my knitting group had a big Christmas party and we did like a secret Santa, which was really cute. And I'll show you what my elf got me, my Victor, if you will. And I made candles with my best friend for her birthday, like the afternoon before the Christmas party. I have it here. I'll show you. We did a candle making workshop together for her birthday present, and I made this beautiful candle, and I named it Under the Quilt because it was really inspired by winter cozy smells. I think the main note is sage, and then which just is I cook a lot with sage in the winter, so it does make me think of winter. And then the oh goodness, the top note, which is like this note you smell first. I learned all this. I don't know anything about candles before this. The top note is lemongrass. There's a hint of fig, and then the bottom note, which is like um, the last note that you would smell, is my understanding. It's like, anyways, my bottom note is firewood, and so it just makes me really, really happy. It does kind of smell like a Christmas campfire, and I wish you could smell it. It is lovely. So this is my under the quilt. I would absolutely do it again. My husband actually makes candles every now and then as a hobby, and I feel like I learned a lot to like tell him what I want now in a candle because sometimes I'm just like make it like a coffee shop. He actually did make me a really lovely Christmas scented candle last year, and I've been trying to. He just needs to order more wax, but maybe that'll be coming. Anyways, and then Monday we put up our tree, and I mean every day basically since then we've had things to do. Yesterday was Niklaus or Saint Nicholas Day, and it's especially big in here in Germany. You put your shoes outside the door, and St. Nicholas comes and he leaves candy and oranges or maybe a book inside. And it's really, really sweet. And then like the kids go to daycare or school, and the lunch people will also give them candy. It's just really sweet. A simple little like pre-Christmas excitement. And what was really cool about this is that I was knitting a sock on the U-bun. Oh, I wanted to grab my husband's socks to show you. I finished my husband's socks, and actually, I think he's wearing them. So I'll try and post a picture. I was knitting them and finishing them up, and an older woman stopped me and was like, "Oh, are you going to finish them for Nikolaus?" And I was like, "Oh, is that a thing?" And she basically was telling me that it used to be tradition that you would knit like every member of your family's socks before Niklaus taught, because Saint Nicholas was like, there's this old story, whether or not it's true we don't know, but he put gold in the three daughters stockings by the fireplace so that they could get married. He was someone who was supposed to be very generous to the poor. And so that's also kind of how this like philanthropy around Christmas started as well. Now, yeah, so that was really interesting. I basically had this conversation, like, no, these are actually a month overdue, but it gave me an idea that I was like, and so since I wasn't going to be knitting in a pair of socks for Niklaus with like 3-day notice, I decided that I would spend Niklaus making a little miniature sock by Summerly Knits. This is for, yeah, little tree ornament sock. I will post it in the link below. It is a free pattern and it took me maybe a few hours to knit up. I finished this. I mean, I knit other things and I still finished this yesterday. It's got a sweet little, and it kind of matches. I already finished one of my Christmas socks and I'll show you that at the very end. But there it is. And this is just a sweet little stitch marker that I got from the season. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. And it was my first forethought heel. I've only ever done a gusset heel and a short row heel. And so this was a good way to practice a forethought heel before actually doing on one of real socks. And I definitely have a few holes where I went in to do my forethought heel, and definitely something to watch out for when I knit the real thing. So this is going to go on my tree. I'll take my stitch marker off, but this is going to go on my tree. And yeah, it's a sweet little, maybe this is my new Niklaus tradition, like to knit a little sock every year. So yeah, that is my first sock I have to show you. And so like I mentioned, I wasn't planning on knitting a pair of Christmas socks. I knit 4 Christmas sweaters for myself. I should probably mention this is the Holly sweater by Knitting for Olive. I have a whole video about it that I'll post above if you're interested. I knit Christmas sweaters for my whole family. And so I was like, no, I don't need Christmas socks. It's fine. I want to get to other things. And then like, it was like November 29th. And I was like, oh, I really do want to. Like, I was seeing all this Christmassy stuff. And I bought my husband a pair of Christmas socks with his football team. They're like, anyways, so I basically was like, no, I need to. This is something I want to do. This is like, excites me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to stop everything and knit a pair of Christmas socks. So as I deep dive through Ravelry, I thought I would share with you what I added to my favorites list. Now, the parameters are, I wanted to do color work. I wanted bright in your face Christmas socks. Not all of these are, some of them are subtle, but they are very joyful to say the least. So they are color work. Most of them are just color work around your ankles because I knew that with everything going on this season, I didn't want a full color work sock. And so a lot of these are going to be really simple and actually would be really great for beginner color work knitters. I also just started, this was the first year I've ever done color work. This was only my 3rd color work sweater. And I just did my first color work sock in August, I believe. So I think a lot of like where it's just the cup of the sock that are color work would be great beginner friendly. So if you've also never done color work, maybe some of these would appeal to you. So in no particular order, other than I'm saving the one that I knit for last and also my favorite sock for last. Okay, so I have my laptop here with all my notes that I've taken. I nerded out a little bit on this and I had a lot of fun. Um, Now, yeah, so the first colorwork sock I have for you is the Christmas All Around Socks by Knit Therapy by Lucy. And this is, I believe this is almost a brand new pattern. I think it came out this season. And I think it's just a really sweet motif with the ornaments. I actually, as I was browsing Ravelry, I didn't see a lot of ornament motifs. And I just think there's something about this that like is both really joyful and fun, but somehow really elegant at the same time. I think depending on colors, this could be a really elegant and like traditional and lovely sock, but also you could pick crazy colors and it could be really funky and happy. And like, I just feel like this is a great uh, base to kind of play with, and you could definitely change the vibe up throughout the years and just really customize it. Um, yeah, I just think I just absolutely stunning. And once again, if you're like me and don't want to do a full color work sock, this works great way with just like the color work around the cuff, and then it's straight stockinette from there on it. A lovely pattern. Number two, okay, this is probably my pattern of all time. And even though it technically may not be a Christmas sock, I'm not sure. I had to include it because it's Christmassy. So this is my dream sock. This is what got me into sock making. I think I bring this up a lot. I just probably need to knit it and get it over with. It is the Starry Night pattern by Krupa Knits. And I feel like once you just see the photo, you understand. It is stunning. But what I like about this one, I mean, besides it just being the most beautiful sock in the world, like, fight me on this, it is the most beautiful sock in the world. Um, it is, I feel like it's very wintry, but I would still wear this year round. And once again, I think color would do a lot for this. Like, if you knit this in like red and white, it would be very Christmassy, but you could still wear it throughout winter. Or if you knit this in like the blue, it has a very wintry vibe. And so I think color just really plays a lot in this. And it's just, I've talked about this one before, so I'm going to move on because I'll just sit here and talk about how pretty it is for the next 5 minutes if you let me. So, um, I will say, the it does scare me. It is a very intense color pattern, color work pattern. It's all over. There are not many repeats. It scares me. It's not the vibe for me right now. I'm thinking January, when here people kind of hibernate for the winter, like once the Christmas season is over and you've kind of done the whole like marathon sprint to Christmas, everyone kind of hibernates and doesn't see each other for 2 months, which is actually really nice. I really just love being cozy, and it's too cold to go out. It's miserable. It's dark, and everyone just kind of stays in their houses. And I'm thinking maybe that is the time that I'm like, okay, there's not a lot to do. It's a little more relaxed. I can handle a color work sock like that. So maybe January I like get to it. We'll see. Um, Anyways, third is another brand new sock. It is the Whimsical Sock Set by Stole Knits. Stole Knits, I mean, I had to include her. I have another one of her patterns as well. I didn't want to include her too much because I'm sure you all know of her, but this sweet, it's a sock set. So it has a robin and a gingerbread cookie, but the robin is really what got me. I knit the bird sweater by Knitting for Olive. Actually, knit it twice this past spring for both my daughters. But I knit a blue one with a red robin on the front, and I fell in love with it. And I think there's something so sweet about a red robin in winter. And I think this would just be a beautiful, like, once again, depending on color, like she has the green one that's very Christmassy. And but I think if you did it in like a very nice, like wintry blue with a red robin, oh, it would just be stunning. This is a sock that I definitely want to knit up. I think it would just be so elegant and like the best parts of winter. Yeah, so I had to mention her, the queen of color work, if you will. So my next one is the Festive Mistletoe Socks by, oh goodness, what is her name? Aninia Uti. This one, there was something just so subtle and sweet about this, like this little scallops and the little mistletoes. I just thought it was absolutely stunning. Definitely on like the more elegant side, not as playful, but just really, really sweet. I loved this. This was really a high up on my list of like, I might knit this. I just thought it was really beautiful. And then number 5, the Holly and Jolly sock set by This Handmade Life. Don't you just love a good stripe play? Like the gingham, the stripes, the different directions, the asymmetry. Oh my goodness. I absolutely stunning. I think Holly and Jolly is the absolute perfect name for this. There's no way to look at these socks and not feel joy. Absolutely stunning. Once again, another all over colorwork pattern, which is why I didn't choose it, but I absolutely could see myself knitting these. It's just so quintessential Christmas, but like in a very modern way. And oh, stunning. Fantastic. I think I've knit a few things by This Handmade Life, or I always like pull her up as like a pattern designer that I love. I'll have to double check that. Um, but yeah, love her. I think I've mentioned her a couple of times on this podcast. It might be time to knit something up by her. Um, Number 6 is the Snowy Wood Socks by Anna Hewitt. This sock actually stopped me in my tracks. This is the very picture of winter wonderland. It reminds me a lot of the Starry Night socks, but it really just like kicks up the magic an extra notch. Once again, these are socks that are just absolutely stunning and scare me so badly. The color work just seems so intense. Once again, I think the last time I mentioned the Starry Night sock, someone was like, just go for it. It'll be fine. And I fully agree. Like I say to people all the time, like, it's only hard because you haven't done it yet. Or it only looks hard because you haven't tried. And it's just like learning to read. It's just like learning to ride a bike. Everything is hard until you do it a couple times. And can you tell I'm a teacher? um, but I just love, there's something just like looks at this and reminds me of a fairy tale. And it just like when you're reading to kids and there's like these magical moments in books and you kind of get this feeling in your chest that like, oh, something's about to happen. Like that's the feeling that I get when I look at these socks. Like they just feel magical. They feel so beautiful. And like they're capturing these precious like fairy tale winter wonderland moments. Now yeah, I think this sock would be absolutely stunning. And a great sock, not just for Christmas, but for like winter moving forward. Um, the next socks, I feel like my America is really struggling with these socks. It's the I'll Be Home for Christmas socks by, who's this by? Renarde Adorami. There's something about a pickup truck that I just love, and I feel like, yeah, that's just the Alabama coming out in me. I almost didn't put it on the list because I was like, oh, you're so cliche. But I really do think like the pickup truck little motif with this Christmas tree on top. What did I just say? Yeah, pickup truck with the Christmas tree on top. It's just such a there's something that just feels so nostalgic. I mean, my family, we had plastic trees growing up, but we did have a pickup truck. And I don't know, something just feels so nostalgic and like takes you back to simpler times. And yeah, I didn't grow up on a farm, but I grew up next to many farms, and we were kind of like smack dab in the middle of a bunch of farms. My mom grew up on a farm, but yeah, I think there's just something really sweet about this motif that kind of, yeah, it just feels nostalgic. Um, and yeah, I think this like motifs surrounding the truck is also really sweet. It kind of has like a winter sweater vibe, and yeah, I think this is very nostalgia Christmas. Like if that's your vibe, this is the sock for you. Um, the next sock was the Christmas sock with two X's, 2021 by Kristen Balk. She has several versions of the sock. I think she might release an updated version every year from what it looked like. I chose, out of all of them, I chose 2021. I just think there's something about the holly branches that, and then like the little triangle motif that like kind of combines tradition with modern that I found really, really stunning. And even though this isn't an all over color work, this was really high up on my list and I was just gonna do like the cuff. And so once again, if you're intimidated like me at this point in your life to do like an all over Christmas color work sock, especially because it is the 6th of December, or no, it's the 7th, and then tomorrow will be the 8th, you still could just do the cuff of this one and knit a stockinette. And I think this would still be really, really stunning. Holly was something that I was really looking at, like a motif that I was really into and a theme as I was picking my favorites, as you will see. Then my next one is the Gingerbread House socks by Natalie Sheldon. Another theme of all my socks that I found that I loved, as you will see, are village houses. I think I was just really feeling the village theme this year. I mean, that might just be marketing getting to me, but I found this Christmas mug in a shop in Alabama, like one of the, we just fell in love with this bookstore, and it kind of started me off on my village. My husband asked me to remake a Christmas village. As you can see behind me, I did this during lockdown, whenever lockdown was over Christmas and there were no Christmas markets a few years back. It was my daughter's first Christmas in Germany, and I wanted her to have like a little Christmas market. So I made this, and my husband asked me to bring it back this year. It's a lot of work, so I haven't done it in 3 or 4 years, and I lovingly made it. I mean, it is a lot of fun. But yeah, it took a lot of work. And so yeah, and then I also got some village fabric. I'll show you that later. So like that's kind of my whole vibe this Christmas, I think, is like I'm really into the village theme. I do also collect a Christmas village house because I get a new one every year. So yeah, it's very on brand for me. But anyways, back to the socks. Like, can we just look at these socks? These are incredible. This was like what I would have knit if I had been in the mood for an all over colorwork sock. Absolutely incredible. So cool. Such a neat idea to like turn a sock into a gingerbread house. And then I love, like, I was looking through her photos, and it looks like she had the idea to even like go back after she was done and like duplicate stitch and do some embroidery on the sock. And I think this would be so cool to like knit these and every year maybe like add a little bit, or like you could change up things, or like make it so you like take it down every year and you could like redecorate it every year. This would be so cute. Wouldn't that be adorable to just like knit, like embroider a little different gingerbread house socks every year? I'm gonna knit these next summer so that I'm ready to embroider them in for Christmas. This is going to happen. I think this is such an adorable idea. Okay, someone else do this first. Someone else do this year so that I can see this. We've already made a gingerbread house this year. I was not good at it, so I would like to think that I'd be better at knitting gingerbread houses, but we'll see. My next socks are the Jagulba socks by Anina Yuti. Gnomes, y'all. Gnomes. Oh, these are socks that I would wear year round. Like, I think the color, the red and white, makes them very Christmassy, but I would absolutely wear gnome socks year round. I just love these. I want them so bad. This is the problem with making videos like this, especially like with sweaters, like I feel like you're like, okay, you're not going to make all these, but with socks, for some reason in my head, it's like, you can make all of these. And my list is just too big now. But these are just like, I just think it's really clever, like the way she does with the beard and the hat, and like the way the shirt of the gnome kind of goes down for the rest of this. I just think it's a really lovely motif and like a really clever design. I just, it's absolutely beautiful, and a sock I would wear not just around Christmas, but year round. Um, and then another still knits pattern is what is this, number 11? Oh, is the cup of cocoa socks. As you might have noticed with me drinking coffee every podcast, I have an addiction to caffeine. It is bad. Like, I know people like say that and they're like, oh, I drink 2 cups. I drink 3 to 4, sometimes 5 cups of coffee a day. I have an addiction. I am aware. And it's probably not going to stop. I just love, especially in winter, I just love drinking something warm. I'm trying to transition to tea. Every Advent, I get a tea Advent calendar, and I'm kind of like, tea, fine, but coffee, man. Anyways, I know these are the cup of cocoa socks, but in my mind, they would be the coffee socks. She actually does have another coffee pattern, but I think this pattern is so much cuter. I just think, yeah, there's something really special about like getting cuddled up with a warm cup of coffee and like sitting down with my tree and like just kind of drinking my first cup of coffee every morning that this is another pair of socks that I absolutely will knit at some point, and I love like the little candy cane little stripes that are kind of framing the cup of coffee. It's just really festive. It would be a simple knit, and the rest of it's just stockinette, I believe. Another Ginger House sock pattern, but this time by Emily Schwantes. I actually found this one was like really far back on Ravelry, but I actually found it on Etsy first. And then I went and found it on Ravelry to like look at the other people's photos. I just think there's something about this sock that screams Christmas bakery to me. There's a very famous song here called In der Weihnachtsbäckerei. It's a children's song, and it's just like in the Christmas bakery, and it talks about like how to make cookies and like in der Weihnachtsbäckerei gibt es manche Leckerei. Um, and it's just really cute, and like um, as soon as it comes on, like it doesn't matter how old you were singing, and you're like bobbing your head. I don't know anyone who like doesn't sing along to this song when it comes on around Christmas, and it's everywhere at this point in the year. Our bakery is playing it nonstop. It's really cute. And I think something about this sock just makes me think Weihnachtsbäckerei. And it makes me just, I don't know. I think it's just the scallops, the sweetness, the color kind of looks like, it does look like a gingerbread cookie. And now I'm hungry. Maybe I'll go steal some of my daughter's gingerbread house later. Anyways, um, just beautiful. This was like my second choice. I mean, I think I've said that like 3 times now. You could tell that I really struggled picking a sock pattern. I just think it's really lovely. Emily did a great job designing this. It's just stunning. And then my, oh goodness, 13. We are almost done. My 13th sock is the Noel Classic by Elise D'Amour. Um, I think this name is just perfect for this. Like it is a classic Christmas sock. From the Christmas tree to like the little sweater motifs, especially around the toe. I just thought, I think there's something about like an extra little line of color work around the toe, especially if it's like just at the cuff and then at the toe, that just frames the socks so nicely. I've actually yet to do it because I am lazy, but I think it just looks stunning. And this is just like a very classic Christmas sock. And I think there's just a really lovely, something like a vintage vibe to this. Like it, this just makes me think of like cutting down your own Christmas tree for some reason. We're actually going to a Christmas tree farm. We've already got our Christmas tree, but we're actually planning to go to a Christmas tree farm closer to Christmas just to like have fun and get out of Berlin. It's like on the boundary of Berlin, technically in Brandenburg. And this just makes me think of that place. So I just think there's like a really rustic vintage feel that's just really beautiful. Next one, and this is actually a free pattern that all of you need to go run and get, is the Christmas Chaos Sock by Barbara Segletti. This sock is so cool. I love the way this is designed. It is once again a free pattern, but it has 24 different motifs. It's kind of like she gives you the motifs and the setup, and you kind of pick in which order you want to put. You pick which motifs you want. Do you want the sock to be identical? Do you want them to be different? Do you want every single motif? Do you want to repeat motifs? I think this is such a cool idea. Like I know that you can do this with socks, like just pick, but I love it how she's like put this formula together and just been like, go for it. Before the sock pattern that I chose came out, I was actually planning to knit, or I had thought about knitting the little house motif with the tree. And so I was just going to do house tree, house tree, house tree. And by that hint, you might know what sock I've knitted if you have been online in the last week. But it just came out on December 1st. But I think this is such a cool idea for a sock. I would absolutely love to knit these. And I love that it's called Christmas Chaos because I do feel like Christmas, like as much as we want it to be romantic and fun, well, romantic and like nostalgic and like sweet and relaxing, it's often just like a lot of chaos, a lot of fun, but a lot of chaos. So I could absolutely see knitting these socks. I think it's a fantastic idea. I can't believe it's free, and she gives you 24 motifs. It's, yeah, fantastic designed. And then the last pattern is going to be the Colorwork Club Sock December motif from Summerly Knits. I bought the Colorwork pattern basically 10 minutes after it came out. I have never clicked buy faster. I was wanting to get into color work and I was scared. And so the cuff idea was great for me. And so I actually did wait till December 1st to see what Summerly came out with. And I was just, she could not have, like, she could not have read my mind better. It is absolutely stunning. So it's two different motifs, but you can kind of pick and, well, it's four different motifs, two main ones, one without snow and one with snow, a tree and a house. And so she basically you can pick if you want snow or not, and you can pick if you want to knit two tree socks, two house socks, or one of both, which is what I'm going to be knitting. And I just, oh, it was instant love. I gasped. Like I was like out with my friend. We were walking back from our candle making, and I just happened to see that it was like, oh, it's here. I love it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And knew I had to make it. Came home and cast it on immediately. And I will show it to you. Um, Before I do, let me show you. So this is fabric that I bought. I'm making a tree skirt finally for my family after saying I was going to make one for 5 years. And then I used I have the plaid fabric and the village fabric. And I used some of the leftovers to just make a simple project bag. And I love it. Used ribbon that I had on hand and it makes me really happy. And it goes so well with my. I made this like 2 weeks ago before I even knew what sock I was going to knit, and I have finished the first one last night. I finished on Niklaus, which I felt like was like good luck to finish like a sock on the Saint of Sock Day. He's not actually the Saint of Socks, but he should be. I think he's like the Saint of children and the poor. Um, I'm not up to date on my saints, but I did teach about the day to children this week, so some of it stuck in my brain. So this is my Colorwork. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I'm typically not a stripe person, and I definitely wasn't thinking that I was going to knit stripes, but I just loved her, like the blue and the red together, and I loved it. So I knit the trees first. Of course, I knit the snow because I'm in a cold climate. I used the leftovers for my husband's sock. You can't really see like the change in the green as much as I want, but it's okay. I felt like that was still like a really lovely green color for the trees. And now yeah, and then I just used Ficolana. I had the blue and the white and the red on hand, and then my Victor, my Secret Santa for my knitting group, gave me some hand dyed yarn from like a little mini skein from a local dyer, Keatsguard, and I forget the color, but it just made me think of gingerbread cookies actually. And since that was the vibe I wanted to go with, I knit. I just thought it really added, like, I feel like it makes the sock, honestly. So if you were my secret, I think I have an idea of who my secret Santa is. I'm going to show you what she got me. Um, but it just makes the color sock. And I did the trees first because I really wanted to knit the houses. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to knit the tree first, and then I'll be excited to cast on the house. I also cast this on Monday night after we put up our tree. And so there was something really special about like casting on and knitting Christmas trees as I was sitting there with my husband. We get a beer advent calendar every year and we sit down and drink. Like we'll share a nice beer together every evening and just like sit and chat for 30 minutes. And it's honestly one of my favorite times of the year, just like sitting and chatting and drinking like a really nice Christmassy beer with him. And so like we're sitting there chatting, knitting, and like looking at our Christmas tree, and it was just really special. And so that's another reason I did it. Kind of like a nice memory to have of like the first. There's just like something special about like the first night with your Christmas tree. And so yeah, this is it. It's gonna be so cute. Um, and yeah, I think this will be. I'm gonna do the house in this color as well. I think this will kind of like mimic a brick look in the house. Is what I'm hoping like. And I'm really excited. I've technically started the second sock. I like I need to cast on 64 stitches and I cast on 62 stitches. So like I'm like halfway through the first row of casting on, so I don't know if it counts today, but no, it counts. I've started the second sock, but I hope to have this done in the next week, so then I'll have like a proper 2 weeks to wear them in like the Christmas season. I kind of consider Christmas like we keep our tree up through the 6th of January, and or like maybe like the 1st or 2nd if we're feeling like a little crazy and like ready to get it out. But we try to keep our tree up like through like the first week of January, and so I consider like the Christmas season to be over then. And so yeah, it'll give me like 2 or 3 weeks to wear them. Although I'm so in love with them. I think they're so festive. They might just have to get me through the cold months as well. So yeah, that is my Christmas sock. Summerly, thank you for this Colorwork Club. If you do not have the Colorwork Club but are a sock knitter, which you are, I assume if you're watching this video, it is such a good value. I think I bought it when it first came out, so I think I paid maybe 11 or 12, but I think it's only 14, 15 US dollars now. And you get the 6 motifs that she's already released. I think maybe she's probably released more than that, because the idea is that she releases a new motif every month for a year, but there's definitely been at least 3 months where she's released 2 or 3 motifs. And then since I talked about my Secret Santa, I thought I would show you what my my Victo got me. And now, yeah, so really, so this is how I think I know who it is. In addition to the yarn, she got me like a sweet little note and told me that she liked my projects and stuff, blah, 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 blah. Just like super sweet. I'm not going to read the note, but she got me a project bag from Barcelona Knits. And it's just really cute. So this is why I think I know who it is, because there were only 3 people in our knitting group that I know of who went to Barcelona Knits. And based off the note as well, I am 90% sure I know who it is. And yeah, thank you. And then she also got me some Zimtmandeln, cinnamon almonds, which, oh, one of my favorite Christmas treats. And then, speaking of tea, I wish you could smell this. I'm actually glad that I showed you guys this, because I forgot these tea bags were in here. And it is Christmas in a cup. Is this what's going to make me like tea? This might be the thing. Um, so yeah, she did a great job. I'm so happy. I think it's also really sweet that like I'm using the gift from my knitting club, the Secret Santa, to make my Christmas socks this year. So I'm really actually glad that I waited until December 2nd to cast on my socks so that I could use her little present. I think that's really sweet. Oh my gosh, so nice. I left my tea advent calendar at work. I've been bringing it to work so I have something warm when I like go out with the kids on the playground every day and try to stay warm. Anyways, I hope that you are inspired by some of the socks that I picked out. Let me know if you're knitting a Christmas sock and what you're knitting. I would love to add to my board on Ravelry all these socks. You can find the link below and it'll take you to my favorites board on Ravelry and you can find them there. Yeah, I would be happy to add any of your favorite socks to it, and it's an easy resource for me next year as I pick out my maybe the 2 or 3 socks I knit next year. Anyways, yeah, I hope you're having a good weekend. We are actually having a chill day at home. Well, I should say chill. It's not going to be that chill. We deep cleaned my daughter's room this morning, and in preparation, we are going to be building them a bunk bed tonight or this afternoon after my daughter's nap. And it's been coming a long time. We only have a small 1 bedroom for both girls to share, and we find it's time. We got the bunk bed from IKEA. That's like a lower bunk bed, so it's as safe as possible while also providing more room. So my husband went to go get all of that this morning. We bought it used, and now we're going to attempt to put it together this afternoon. That's one of her Christmas presents. So keep us in your thoughts and prayers as we attempt to assemble IKEA furniture with our kids around. And then tomorrow we have our 3rd annual family Christmas sing. Every year for the past, so we've done it 2 years before, we put on a Christmas sing in our neighborhood. And it is just the most delightful, like little caroling session. We do songs in German and English. We do like traditional Christmas songs. We do like modern Christmas songs. It's so fun. Um, and there is nothing more joyful than singing Christmas songs, no matter what. I've been like absolutely insane as I've been like running around my school this week, like with my kids, just like blasting Christmas songs. And it's been a assessment week, so we're like assessing the kids' reading. And so while my partner teacher goes out and does the assessments, I've been in like doing work with the kids. But as we've been sitting, I've been like pulling out my guitar and like I'll just like start being like Feliz Navidad. Or their favorite is Last Christmas, which I really hate, but they love it. So I've been learning to play their guitar and it's Last Christmas. Um, or yesterday we sang, there's a traditional Christmas song in German called like Bald ist Nikolaus Abend da, which is like soon Nikolaus evening will be here, which in the evening you're traditionally supposed to like clean your shoes and put them beside the door. Classic German, like clean your shoes and then get the treat. But no, yeah, I feel like no one will get that unless you live in this culture. But yeah, there's a part of the song. So, anyways, there's a part of the song that's like lustig, lustig, tra la 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 la. And so I would be like lustig, lustig, and like the whole class chimes in with like tra la 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 la, and they'll go back to work. And then like the song will go, and they'll like lustig, lustig, and they'll be like tra la 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 la. Anyways, this is a tangent at this point, but it was really cute. So all that to say, we are doing our annual Christmas sing tomorrow, and it is a lot of work. I still need to like print out all the booklets and like make sure my printer can do them. I had a small mental breakdown last year when I went to go print the booklets out an hour before the thing was supposed to start. So this year I'm trying to do it the day before. um, we'll see how that goes. We'll see if we have booklets this year. We did not last year. But yeah, all that to say, I hope that your weekend is lovely. I hope you're having a lovely second advent and that you're doing something special with people you love, even if that's just sitting in your pajamas and putting together IKEA furniture. Happy Advent, friends. Happy knitting. As always, it's been a joy and I'm glad you're here. Bye.